specific issue I want to just address here today, and that's a problem that families are facing all across America, all across Ohio. It's particularly severe here in Cuyahoga County. Last year, there were more than 15,000 foreclosures in this county alone. Cleveland has the 6th highest foreclosure rate of any city in the country. And I've seen the toll that this crisis is taking. I saw it in the face of a mother who had 2 legally blind children. She had taken out a loan, what she thought was a legitimate loan, to refurbish her home. It turned out it was a predatory loan filled with deceptive practices. Her loan doubled in 2 weeks. She was at risk of foreclosure, having to pack her house, and now the only way that she's staying in her home is no longer taking vital medicines that she needs, or because she simply can't afford it. She's got to make every dollar stretch just to make payments. And that's not unusual and shouldn't be tolerated here in the United States of America. We should be cracking down on banks that engage in predatory lending. And that's why 2 years ago I introduced a bill that would treat those who engage in common mortgage fraud like the criminals that they are. I propose forcing lenders to accurately disclose the terms of their loans so that folks can compare different mortgages and find the one that's right for them. And we should also be helping borrowers who were tricked into buying homes that they couldn't afford. That's why I propose tax relief for struggling homeowners and an additional $10 billion in bonds to help folks buy their first home or avoid foreclosure. And I've also called for the immediate creation of a $10 billion home foreclosure prevention fund to give people the time and the financial assistance that they need to refinance or sell their homes. And one last point I want to make about this. The other week, the administration and major lenders reached an agreement to freeze some foreclosures for 30 days to give struggling homeowners time to find ways to avoid losing their homes. And that's a welcome first step, but I believe that more needs to be done. For lenders and borrowers in the time of turmoil in the credit markets, 30 days is not enough to work out loan modifications. So we should give them the time that they need. That's the kind of leadership our middle class deserves, and that's the kind of leadership that I intend to provide as President of the United States of America. Couple more issues that I want to touch on, then we'll open it up for questions. I believe we can give every child in America the best education this country has to offer, from the day that child is born till the day that child graduates from college. The problem is not that we don't know what to do. The problem is we have not shown the will to do it. And as president, I don't want to just label myself the education president and then do nothing. I don't want to pass No Child Left Behind and then leave the money behind. We are going to invest in early childhood education to close the achievement gap and make sure every child is prepared when they start school. I want to not just talk about how great teachers are, but reward them for their greatness by giving them higher salaries, giving them more rewards. I want to maintain the highest standards for our children. We have to have high standards. Our kids are going to be competing against children in China and India who are working hard. And that means, by the way, the parents, we're going to have to turn off the TV sets and put away the video games. Instilling a sense of excellence in our children. We've got to have high standards, all of us. Children, teachers, parents, community leaders. But I don't want those high standards measured just with a single high-stakes standardized test. Because I don't want teachers teaching with a test. I want them to teach a subject matter that will inspire our children. I want them to learn art and music and science and time we make college more affordable. So we're going to put forward a $1 tuition credit every student, every year, to offset, to defray about 2/3 of the cost of the average public college or community college. But students are going to have to give something back in return. They're going to have to participate in community service, work in a homeless shelter, a veteran center, join a peace corps, It is time we also had a sensible energy policy, and we don't have one right now. Where we are sending $1 billion every day to foreign nations because of our addiction to foreign oil. We've got record gas prices that are on their way up to potentially $4 a gallon. That's something the president apparently wasn't aware of when he was in the and we're melting the polar ice caps in the Arctic and changing the environment for the worse. So we've got to get a handle on this, not just for us, but for the next generation. So I want to cap the emission of greenhouse gases that are causing global warming. We're going to charge polluters for the carbon they send into the atmosphere. That will generate billions of dollars that we can then invest in solar and wind and biodiesel, the clean energies of the future. That will not only help reduce global warming, but it will also put people back to work, building wind turbines, and building solar panels, and training our young people to make buildings more energy efficient. And that can, those green jobs, green technology can help drive the economy here in Ohio and all across the country in ways that will benefit us for decades to come. And we're also going to have to increase fuel efficiency standards on cars. If we increase fuel efficiency to 40 miles per gallon, we would save the equivalent of all the oil we import from the Persian Gulf. Wow. All the oil we import from the Persian Gulf. Imagine what that will do. Not just for the environment and the economy, because that's the only way to drive down gas prices long term, but imagine what it would also do for our national security. And by the way, when I made that proposal, I didn't do it in front of some environmental group. I went to Detroit, and I talked to the automakers. And I have to say the room was really quiet. Nobody clapped. But that's okay, because part of what we need for the next president is somebody who will tell the American people not just what they think they want to hear, but what they need to hear, what the American people need to make